Ladies and gentlemen, children of the interwebs out there, Sebastian Envy, the strong style cinephile, Batwoman, it's best to stop digging, I think the name of the episode is. Let us geek about it for a scant few minutes. Don't know how much of this will be recap and review versus just rant, because there's just stuff that I do not like about this episode, and it just adds to just the general problem I have with this season of Batwoman. It's just like I'm coming from The Flash to this. It's like I'm really wanting to like what's going on in the Arrowverse right now. I really do. Thankfully, I'm going from these two shows to catching up with 2 episodes of Superman, which is, I'm so tired of Superman, yet that is a really enjoyable show compared to The Flash and to Batwoman. Now, in this episode, we have a couple things going on. Number one, we have Ryan suffering from kryptonite poisoning, so they're trying to mitigate that. Mary and Luke are trying to deal with that, heal her. You've got Sophie and Jacob Kane, that rough, haggard-looking Jacob Kane. I do actually like how they have him just unshaven and just haggard-looking this season to kind of show his struggle that he's going through with dealing with Kate missing and just kind of the effect it's having on him. I like that. But we have them looking for the map to Coriana. And then you have Alice, who has managed to kidnap Sophia's right-hand woman and is trying to get information out of her to find out what exactly Sophia wants with her, has done to her and Ocean to make them forget about each other and that sort of thing. So we get this background on Alice, again, from, I guess, background 2.0, because we got some background on her, what made her nutty in the first season. She was being, kidnapped by Mouse's dad, and then her finding her mother's head in the fridge, and just little, just tragic stuff that happened to her back then. We thought that was the reason why she's just bat, stuff crazy. And no, it's not, because apparently before she came back to Gotham City, she took a side trip to Ninja Island, also known as Coriana, which is where she just picked up ninja skills. And they're just kind of parroting. And I'd seen a headline. I didn't click on the story. I saw a headline where it said the Arrowverse Batwoman is recreating or redoing another Arrowverse story, which I'm assuming they're talking about Sarah and Sarah's landing with the League of Assassins and getting involved with Nyssa, falling in love with her, their relationship, and how that was not exactly going to work out, let's say. Here we have Alice on Ninja Island, where she meets Ocean, falls in love with him, but apparently Sophia was in love with Alice, or fell in love with her eventually. Now, she tracked her down as a stowaway on a ship, and she wanted to use her to get revenge on Catherine, because Sophia had issues with Catherine. Alice had issues with Catherine because she lied to Jacob and to Kate to try to make them think that Beth, when she was still Beth, was dead. Catherine wanted them to forget about her so they can kind of move on with their lives, and with her and with Mary. So with Sophia wanted to just use Alice's anger in her plans, kind of be one of her soldiers in her army to do whatever was going to be her grand plan eventually. Apparently along the way, Sophia fell for Alice and just wanted to, I guess, do something different with her, wanted to share her island with her, her plans, her life, what have you. But then you have Tatiana, who was Sophia's right-hand woman, who's also in love with Sophia. So all that's going on. Then you have Alice meet Ocean, in talking to him and training with him, where she gets her ninja skills. She learns that he's basically kind of sheltered on this island, and they end up sparking up a relationship. And then eventually Ocean wants to leave the island, wants to experience what's out there, and he wants to take the Desert Rose with him because he figures he can make a fortune off of it, start a new life. And things get kind of messed up. Yes, the Desert Rose, we get some background on that, where it comes from, what it does, what its purpose, what kind of fuels it, how Sophia plays into it, their vow to protect it at all costs. So we get some background on a lot of stuff in this episode. And their plan gets found out because Tatiana sees them knocking boots and then tells Sophia. Sophia feels betrayed, and then she uses a hypnotist to mess with their heads to make them forget about each other. And then she kind of uses the hypnotist to also make Alice a bit screwy. So my spider sense is telling me that what we're just on the tracks, and this train, this train of redemption is just barreling towards Alice, and I think that's where they're gonna go, and I just hate that. Just let Alice be just off the wall crazy. We don't need every Arrowverse villain does not need a redemption story. I've said that before, and I stick to it. And yet, here we have justification for Alice being the way she is because of some hypnosis by Sophia, who's this manipulative person. God, don't do it. Just don't. Just for the love of all things holy, every deity out there, crossing fingers, crossing toes, sacrificing small woodland creatures, whatever it takes to just not do this. Just do not do it, I swear. Oh my goodness. I just do. So meanwhile, you have Ryan dealing with kryptonite poisoning, and she feels like she's on her last leg. She wants to track down Alice, take out Alice, and kill her, get justice for herself, and then she tries to convince Mary that she's trying to get justice for her mom as well. In her hallucinogenic state, she goes to Angie's, her ex now, who apparently has somebody new that she's knocking boots with, to try to track down Ocean. And she tells her where she is and then knocks her off her balcony. Ryan lands on a car. It's going to be kind of awkward when Angie eventually finds out that Ryan is Batwoman, because it's the CW. It's going to happen. We know this. It's just a matter of time. So that's going to be an awkward conversation. So Luke and Mary recover the body and recover Ryan, take her back to HQ, to the Batcave, and then they kind of go back and forth about things while Luke is going to get supplies to help Ryan. Mary and her have it out where Mary basically tries to impart upon her that, hey, we don't kill. Ryan wants to kill Alice to kind of, as I said, to get justice. Alice and Ryan have it out where Ryan eventually says, hey, if I kill her, I'm just going to be just like her, which is, we knew that was coming. The fight wasn't all that spectacular. It was just, Alice just whooping her butt for most of the fight. But we do find out that in the fight that Ryan planted a tracker on Alice's boot. Alice is heading back to Sophia because she put a false face on a body that's supposed to be Ocean, and because Sophia wanted her to kill Ocean, so she's technically killed Ocean, and she's going to go back to the island. They're going to track her to the island, and then I imagine that once they get there, shoot it all up, have their little grand spectacle fight, probably in the mid-season finale episode. They'll find out Kate was carted off, like during the firefight, or maybe once like scanners or something picked them up coming to the island. Sophia just sent a courier away with Kate, and thus we extend what's going on with the storyline that's going on with her. I like Ryan. I like the character, and she's just being shortchanged. She's being just cut off at the knees. The development, the fun, the interesting stuff we can have with Ryan Wilder, the character, and her interactions with Mary and with Luke, and just the chemistry, the bond they need to form through whatever adventures they have with her being Batwoman and then being Team Batwoman. We're not getting it. We're just getting saddled with this albatross of a storyline that is tied to Kate, and you are not going to get, unless, because we all think this is unlikely, but unless they get Ruby Rose back in the fold to do the passing of the torch, to do the handoff, this is stupid and pointless, because we are wasting valuable screen time on a character who we will not see. She's just a cloud, a shadow, a shroud, a albatross on the neck of this show, and we just keep it going, and it's just... The show got renewed for a third season, so I'm really hoping that at the end of season 2, everything Kate will be left behind. That's what we've got to hope for. At this point in time, we just have to hope, and just hope and pray that just every episode further along we get, that it's just an episode closer to Kate not being on the show, Kate not being mentioned on the show, and everybody just moving past her. That's where we're at. That's the only thing to look forward to, because it's just... she's just in a box right now, that has Kate on all sides, and she's just trapped in this box, and it sucks for Javicia Leslie, because she's a good character, she's a good actress. I'm liking her. Some of her delivery and some of her lines, she gets kind of squeaky with her voice, but I mean, I like so much about her, and I just feel, I hate that she is being bogged down by what they're doing with the Kate stuff, because you're not going to get her back. Why are we doing this? So it was an okay episode. I don't like the hanging on to Kate. I don't like this road to redemption that we're potentially on with Alice. It's stupid. We don't need to do it. Just let her be evil. There's nothing wrong with that. So where we go from here, I don't know. I'll keep watching because I need to, because I've watched to this point. I talk about it. I don't know. Whatever. That's where I'm at right now. Anyway, those are my thoughts on it. Scattered as they often are. Clearly, what do you guys out there think? Let me know in the comments below. Follow me, social media. Talk to me there. Talk to me here. And yeah, on to Superman and a better show, which should leave a better taste in my mouth. Let us geek.